Welcome back, All Day Fam. I love you all so much. Thank you so much for joining. And I'd also, before I get started, I'm talking about my Week 18 season finale. Leading into this weekend, wild card weekend, super wild card weekend. I also want to, I live in Los Angeles, so I want to go ahead and send my prayers and my love out to the ones who's out in LA, out here. If you have been affected by the fires, that my prayers, my love is with you all, and we're gonna get through this. We definitely will. Where I live in North Hollywood, so the fires were not too far from me. But the closest one to me was Altadena, so it's a little bit open line, a little bit. I was just able to see like the clouds, the smoke clouds and everything. But it didn't come here. I did get like a false evacuation, but other than that, I'm good. So any of y'all out there, you've been affected by the fires, or a loved one, or somebody that you know, prayers out to you all. So that being said, let's get into week 18. This was for me. It was a really exciting week. It was some really great matchups. Some games were were much closer than I thought. I was right about the team, but I was way off about the score. I can't remember which game that was, but we're gonna go over this real quick. So 14 teams advance to the postseason, while the remaining 18 squads they go on a vacation after the season is over. So 2 games took place on Saturday, with the Baltimore Ravens securing the AFC North title and the Cincinnati Bengals keeping their slim playoff chances alive. So here's the storylines from Sunday's action. So the Lions, they rout the Vikings to clinch the number 1 seed in the NFC. So it all came down to the final game of the season, as the Detroit Lions and the Minnesota Vikings face each other in a showdown for the NFC North title. So this was a first-round postseason bye. Well, face each other in a showdown for the NFC North title for a first-round postseason bye and home field advantage throughout the conference playoffs. So entering Sunday's matchup, sporting the 2 best records in the NFC at 14-2 between both teams, it was the Lions who prevailed, and they dominated the Vikings 31-9. So this was behind a franchise record-tying performance from Jahmyr Gibbs. Jahmyr, he finished with 170 total yards. He rushed for 139 yards and 3 touchdowns, while hauling in 5 passes and another score on his career night. So these 4 touchdowns, it tied the Lions' record for the most in a single game by a running back, joining Pro Football Hall of Famer Barry Sanders. That's a huge milestone. So this victory also marks the second consecutive season Detroit has won the division, and the first time in franchise history. The Lions have clinched a number 1 seed, setting up a potential deep run in the playoffs as they aim to end a championship drought that dates back to 1957. So this is awesome. The Lions, they rolling right now. I believe the Lions is favored by everybody to win the Super Bowl. Well, not everybody, but by a lot of people, even over the Chiefs. I told y'all, I've been saying this for the past few weeks now. I've said that, I think that the Lions is going to get booted out the first week of the season. First week of the postseason. I'm going to stick with that. I don't like really changing my predictions unless I have no other choice, Like with the Bears. I stuck with the Bears all the way until they got booted out of the playoffs. Eliminated out of the playoffs. Not booted out of the playoffs. Eliminated from entering the playoffs. So I'm going to stick with it. I'm going to stick with saying the Lions is going to lose their first round. So let's see. So Jahmyr Gibbs, he did have a historic performance against the Vikings. So the Vikings, on the other side, despite finishing 14-3, they are going to have to go on the road for a wild card round, facing a golf against the Los Angeles Rams at SoFi. This will be on January 13th. This is going to be on Monday, so they're going to play on Monday Night Football. Minnesota is the winningest team to play in the wild card round, ending out the 1999 Tennessee Titans, who had 13 wins. So this happened before, back in 1999 with the Tennessee Titans. So the Titans, they went on to reach the Super Bowl when they won 13 games and they were a wild card team. So who knows? This could happen for the Vikings. I predicted the Vikings to go on to the Super Bowl. So this could happen. Like I just read, the last time that a team done this, a wild card team went that had like 13 or more wins was back in 1999. So the Bears didn't go it. So I'm saying the Bears obviously can't make it to the Super Bowl. So we're going to see if the Vikings can do it. So the comeback player of the year candidate, Sam Darnold, he finished throwing for 18 of 41 for 166 yards and no touchdowns in that game against the Lions. Pretty much hands down played his worst game of the season. Now, I do have something to say about that. I think that the Vikings, I think that the play calling was really off. So I believe that the reason why Sam Darnold did not perform as well as a lot of people are. Yeah, I don't want to say expected, because I think some people were expecting him to fall, to go back to being a so-called pumpkin. I believe the problem was the play calling. If your weapons are shut down, and if your quarterback is struggling due to pressure, then you down run the ball. Michael Parsons, well, maybe not today, but when he first came into the league, first couple of years in the league, Michael Parsons was arguably the best pass rusher in the entire NFL. There was even talk about him being the best defensive player in the entire NFL, or one of the best, or the best player in the NFL. There was talks about that. He has fell off hard, but when he was, it's sad because he should be in his prime. He's still young. I think he's only been in the league for 4 years, and I don't think Michael Parsons is as good as he should be, and I think he has a lot of distractions. He has to focus on a lot of things where he shouldn't. But that's for another discussion for another time. Anyway, the best part to get what you do to help your quarterback or to help your offensive line to against a heavy, dominant pass rush, you run the ball towards the pass rusher or towards the pass rush. You run the ball to avoid it in general. The Vikings didn't do that. The Lions was dominating up front, and they were in Sam Darnold's face, pressuring him hard. So if you're going to do that, it's going to help you with your coverage, And the Vikings, they was just so determined to win the game by passing. And the crazy thing about it was, every now and then when they were running the ball, they were picking up good yardage. But at the same time, they were going away from it. So I'm like, bro, the Lions is not going to allow you to pass. They're not going to. They want you to pass, but you're not going to get anything. Freaking Dan Campbell even said, we know they're going to get the ball. We know they're going to try to get the ball to Justin Jefferson. They took out Justin Jefferson. They took out Jordan Addison, and they was still trying to pass the ball. I think it was terrible play calling on the Vikings' part. The game was close for the most part of the game, and then all of a sudden, obviously, the Lions, they broke one down, they got some touchdowns, they just kept rolling, and then the game ended up being a blowout. But the game was close for the first half, and I think it was close leading up until a little bit into the third quarter. That's on the Vikings. The Vikings could have kept chomping the clock away, and then still playing good defense. And they could have kept running with Aaron Jones and Cam Akers. They could have. Aaron Jones is a good running back. Why aren't you using him? So that's on the Vikings. I hope they get that taken care of. I hope they fix that. I hope they pretty much rewind with their go back to the drawing board. You're in the playoffs now. You're not going to win by just launching the ball all over the place. That's not going to happen. Everybody and their mama knows you're going to try to get the ball to Justin Jefferson. Everybody knows that. And if he's shut out, don't keep trying to be so stubborn and keep pushing that. You got Aaron Jones, use him. So that's all I got to say about that. So let's see if there's anything else I want to talk about this. So let's look. Minnesota's aggressive play calling in the red zone combined with Darnold's rough night doomed the Vikings. Facing a 4th and goal at the Lions' 3-yard line in the second quarter, the Vikings opted to go for it, but Darnold failed to connect with wide receiver Justin Jefferson, resulting in a turnover on downs. Yeah, Sam Darnold did miss some throws. He missed some wide open throws. He did. But he missed some wide open throws because the Lions was in his face. He did not have the time to get to Justin Jefferson. So, and he did not have the time to get his foot set, to get his he had his feet set and to complete those passes. The Lions, they dominated, man. What they did, their game plan was make Sam Darnold make mistakes, and that's what he did. And the Vikings should have countered that with body blows. And what I mean by body blows is running the damn ball up the gut and just consistently keep doing that. As determined you were to freaking pass the ball, you should have been as determined to run it as well. But you didn't do that. So it's whatever, man. I hope they fix it, because they're going against the Rams, and the Rams, they have a pretty good defense too. It's not going to get any easier. You're going against a really great coach, a Super Bowl winning coach, more than likely a Hall of Fame coach. The Rams is not probably as physical and tough and as dominant as the Lions are, but they have a great offense as well. So if you don't keep this game close by chipping away this clock by playing good defense and running the ball down their throat, and then when you see open seams, you take it and when you pass the ball, etc., etc., etc. If you don't do that against the Rams, it's going to be the same result. They're going to get blown out again if they don't get that taken care of. The Rams, they also have two really good running backs that I'm a huge fan of. Two physical running backs, big physical running backs. I like Blake Corum, the rookie running back, and Kyron Williams, really good, great running back. It's not going to get any easier, and the Rams has better offensive personnel than the Lions do. The Lions just the Lions has a really great offensive coordinator. They do have some really talented players on their offense, but with the Lions, they benefit from that great offensive play calling. And Sean McVay, he's a great offensive coach, and he has two prominent elite wide receivers and at least one elite running back. It's not going to get any easier. And they play pretty good defense as well. And they have pretty good pass rushers also. It's not going to get any better. So the Vikings better get it together, which I believe they will. I predict them to go to the Super Bowl. But they gotta execute though. They gotta execute. So I don't mind being wrong. But the Vikings, their margin of error is slim to none when you're in the playoffs. So yeah. One thing you cannot do is be wrong and keep willingly be wrong. So if your passing game is not there, you're wrong. Your game plan is wrong now. You gotta freaking compromise. So I know you got Justin Jefferson. You're paying him all that money, but you gotta get it you gotta get together. I mean, you gotta be able to adapt. You have to. So let's see here. Is there anything else I want to look into over on this? Following a Vikings defense interception in the ensuing postseason that gave Minnesota the ball inside the Detroit 7-yard line. Darnold twice missed a wide open Jefferson in the end zone, forcing the team to settle for a 25-yard field goal to cut the deficit to 7-3. So on his first possession of the second half, Minnesota again was in a 4th and goal situation, this time at the Lions' 2-yard line, but yet again, Darnold's pass attempt to wide receiver Jordan Addison fell incomplete. So Detroit took advantage of the Minnesota's mistake, riding Gibbs to 3 second-half touchdowns to score 21 unanswered points and pull away for the victory. So that's just proving my point, though. That's proving my point. Your quarterback is struggling. Help him out by not putting too much in his hands, too much responsibility in his hands. Run the damn ball. Simple. Simple as that. If the Vikings lose on Monday, I guarantee you all, it's going to be because they kept with the same game plan, trying to run, trying to pass, trying to win through the air. You're not going to win that way. You're just not. The Chiefs didn't even win that way with Patrick Mahomes. So why would you think you'll win that way with Sam Darnold? It's not going to happen. I'm tired of repeating myself. I'm being on broken record right now. We'll just see. I'll do a nightcap. I'll do a Monday night nightcap. I don't care what I'm got going on. Especially if the Vikings lose that game. I will just stop what I'm doing, and I will just pop on my webcam, my camera, and I will just talk. Because I want to be like, I told y'all, look at what happened. I'll even put the highlights on. That's what I'll do too. Especially if the Vikings lose, I will put the highlights on how they lost. So, whatever, man. Let's keep pushing. So let's something else. Like over week 18, the Broncos, they sealed the final playoff spot in the Bengals So after a dreadful start to the season, the Cincinnati Bengals won their final 5 games of the season, including a narrow victory over the Pittsburgh Steelers on Saturday to keep their postseason chances barely alive. So heading into Sunday, they needed the Denver Broncos and the Miami Dolphins to lose to book their playoffs spot in the playoffs. And that didn't happen. Broncos won. The Dolphins lost. So Yeah, the Kansas City Chiefs are the luckiest good team ever. So although Miami fell on the road to the New York Jets, the Broncos closed the door on Cincinnati's late surge with a thumping 38-0 over Kansas City Chiefs team, which rested a lot of their players. So I was really surprised about that. I thought that the Chiefs were still going to win this game, but evidently they didn't. They got blown out. This is the game I was talking about. This is a game I was completely wrong on. I was so surprised about this game. I really was. Some people even think that the Chiefs like literally intentionally just did not play well because they didn't want the Bengals in the playoffs, which was why I wanted the Bengals to make it to the playoffs, because I'm like, bro, no team in the playoffs is scared to play the Bengals. They're not. So I was tired of this narrative that nobody wants to see the Bengals. Nobody wants to see the Bengals in the playoffs. Why? Why don't any team in the NFL in the postseason want to see the Bengals? What's so scary about the Bengals? Please tell me that. There's nothing scary about them at all. Not if you're a team in the playoffs. All these teams are good teams. Pretty much all of them plays really good defense. Let me think. Vikings plays good defense. The Browns plays good defense. The Chiefs play good defense. The Chargers play good defense. The Texans play good defense. Who else is? I'm missing some teams. But pretty much all these teams play really great defense. Why are they afraid of the Bengals? And if you do your homework, you'll see that the Bengals, they struggled against good defenses. And not only that, they struggled against good teams. They beat up on bad teams. I think they only beat like one playoff team. If that. I have to look into their record. And the team, their wins and losses. And I did that the other day, but I can't remember by heart. They're not a good team, bro. They're just not a good team. Nobody is afraid of the Bengals. Unless you're a terrible team. Like, you should have stopped the narrative with this Joe Burrow, this Bengals crap, thinking about they can go all the way. That's why I wanted them to go so bad, just to shut everybody up. And they couldn't even make it to the playoffs. So, whatever. They barely beat Pittsburgh, and Pittsburgh is struggling right now. Yeah, so I think that was the playoff team they beat. Pittsburgh is struggling. Come on, man. Russell Wilson and that offense was struggling. You mean to tell me if that offense was clicking like they were when Russell Wilson was playing, the Bengals would have lost. The Bengals didn't even put that many points that I predicted in my predictions. And I'm going to get to the predictions after I'm done reading off the reviews. They didn't even put that many points up. So what are we talking about here? Go on with that, man. So that is pretty my point too. They didn't even need to make it to the playoffs. They barely beat Pittsburgh. They barely beat a struggling Pittsburgh team. They beat them by a few points. Come on, man. So although Miami fell on the road to the New York Jets, the Broncos, I already said that. So let's see here. I already read all that. So the Chiefs, they already claimed the number 1 seed in the first round bye. So that comes with this. And Denver made the most of those absences, playing excellently on both sides of the ball in a one-sided victory. The Broncos had 479 total yards on offense, while the Chiefs had just 898 down. Rookie quarterback Bo Nix had an outstanding day, throwing 26-29 for 321 yards and 4 touchdowns. Good for him, man. Even though it was against the backups, that's still great for a rookie quarterback against a Super Bowl winning team. It's still phenomenal. Bo Nix is playing great football. He's playing phenomenal football. I'm happy to see him playing well. It just makes the league even better when you got younger players playing great. So he had 2 to Marvin Mims Jr. and 1 apiece to Cortland Sutton and Devon Valley. Nix, who has enjoyed a stellar debut campaign to lead Denver to 10 wins, began the game with 18 straight completions, the most by any rookie to open a game in NFL history. He's out there breaking records. He's out there playing phenomenal. He's out there being efficient. He's going to be a great quarterback. John Payne's probably going to turn him into a Hall of Fame quarterback if he stays consistent with this. Keeps getting better. So he's been impressive his first season in the NFL. Phenomenal. And I think it's not just a one-and-done thing with who's going to be the Rookie of the Year with Jaden Daniels. I don't think so. So you got on the other side of the ball, the defense held Kansas City backup quarterback Carson Wentz in check with Nick Bonito, who's a great player, continuing his excellent breakout season with 2 sacks. The outside linebacker has racked up 13.5 sacks this season. Phenomenal. So the playoff spot is the Denver Broncos' first since winning Super Bowl 50 in 2015. So this is their first playoff spot since winning the Super Bowl. in 2015 with Peyton Manning. The Broncos win made Miami's result irrelevant in the playoff race. The Dolphins' defeat ended a disappointing season on a sour note. It was I predicted the Dolphins to lose this game, but yeah, I predicted them to lose this game. So I wasn't really surprised in them losing to the Jets. So the Dolphins has battled injuries to key players, but star wide receiver Tyreek Hill suggested after Sunday's loss to the Jets that he could be on the move in the offseason. I hope he freaking gets. I hope the Chargers. He gets traded to the Chargers. I hope the Chargers picks him up. Yeah, I know. I think he posted on his X account saying if he does get traded, that's a team that he would like to go to. Keenan Allen saying that if he doesn't go back to the Bears, that he's going to go back to one of the LA teams, the Rams or the Chargers. So that'll be phenomenal if Joe Ortiz can pull that. Tyreek Hill and Keenan Allen. There has also been talk about Garrett Wilson might be traded to the Chargers as well. So the Chargers might try to trade for him. So it'll be if we can pull at least one of those three, that'll be awesome. So let's see. What else we gotta go? Titans. They claim the number 1 pick in the 2025 NFL draft. So all these are happening. So this concludes the 2018. The 2024-25 weeks 18 season. So the Titans, they are going to pick with the number 1 pick in the 2025 draft. The Tennessee Titans. So let's see. The New England Patriots enter the day in the top spot in the order, but because of their victory over the Bills, who were resting many of their starters, they opened the door to the Titans to move up. Tennessee did what it needed to do, losing 23-14 at home to the Houston Texans. The Patriots ended the day with the 4th pick, while the Titans 3-14 finished first. The Cleveland Browns 3-14 will get the 2nd selection, and the New York Giants 3-14 have the 3rd. They all have the same record. So the Titans will pick first, the Browns will pick 2nd, and the Giants will pick 3rd. I won't be surprised if the Titans get a quarterback. You didn't hear that from me. If I was the general manager, I would get a quarterback. I don't believe in Will Levis. I would do that. That's just my opinion. So, despite having the best opportunity to breathe some positivity back into the organization, Titans head coach Brian Callahan expressed his frustration at how the season panned out. Yeah, whatever. So, let's see here. Okay. Jerod Mayo, he has been fired. Shortly after the Patriots' Week 18 victory, that was a surprise to me. I can't believe he got fired. I think he was doing an okay job with what he had. I believe that that's another quarterback, another young quarterback, Drake May, was doing a pretty good job. Out of all the rookies of what Drake May was working with and with who his coach is, I believe he was the most impressive, to be honest with you. I do believe Drake May was the most impressive rookie. Yeah, rookie quarterback. Because you guys already know, I look at what these quarterbacks work with, man. I look at the adversity that they face, the minimal resources that they have. Bo Nix, he's in a good position. He's in a good situation. Jaden Daniels, he's in a good situation. Caleb Williams, sort of. He has good personnel to work with, but he has terrible coaching. So, really, to be honest with you, Caleb Williams, in my book, is in the worst situation than all of the rookie quarterbacks. But given that being said, Drake May, his situation isn't too far. I didn't think Drake May was suffering from terrible coaching. I didn't think Jerod Mayo was a bad coach. I don't think he's a terrible coach. I didn't have any question marks with Jerod Mayo's coaching. This was his first year. And I think given what Jerod Mayo was working with, what Drake May was working with, I felt like they had an okay season. Now, I will say this. The Patriots kind of were getting a tad bit worse. They weren't getting better. They were playing a little bit better earlier this year than they did, and then they ended up. So that could have resulted in Jerod Mayo getting fired. So, but it is kind of hard for you to keep a team together your first year, and you're not really working with much, and you're working with a rookie quarterback, and this is your first year. The Patriots should have gave Jerod Mayo some leeway. I mean, at least one more year, bro. Like, come on, you fired the guy, his rookie year, working with a rookie quarterback, and with no talent pretty much at all on that team. Come on. And I would say this, man. The Patriots, they've been playing hard. They played hard every single game. I think they played hard every game. So, yeah, it's kind of messed up that Jerod Mayo got fired. I was actually rooting for him. I thought it was a really great hire when he got hired. early in the offseason, it sucks. You know, these owners, these GMs, their patience has ran thin throughout. You know, so it's terrible. But I hope Jerod Mayo gets a job, man. I hope he gets a job, whether it's in college or whether he gets, another head coaching shot in the NFL. You know, if he doesn't get another head coaching shot in the NFL, I hope he gets a defensive coordinator job or something somewhere in a good organization with a good team. I do hope that much for Jerod Mayo. I think he has a lot of potential to be a really great coach. So, after all that, that was my brief news for Week 18. Stuff that just happened, popped off, just going over some stuff. So now we're going to go over the Saturday scores, and we're going to go over the Week 18, full Week 18 Saturday scores, full Week 18 Sunday scores. So the two Saturday scores on Week 18, it was the Browns and the Ravens, the Bengals and the Steelers. So the actual score for the Browns and the Ravens lost 35-10. The Ravens put up the run, so the Ravens won 35. The Browns had 10. So I said the Ravens were going to beat the Browns, which I was right on that. I said the Ravens was going to beat the Browns 35-14. The Ravens beat the Browns 35-10. I was so close on that. I was so close on that score. It was nearly perfect. I was 4 points off. I was right on with the Ravens. I said 35, and I said 14, though. I said the Browns was going to put up 14 points, and they put up only 10. So I'm a little happy about that. All right, so the second Saturday game. I was way off on this game. Way off. So the actual score, the Bengals, they beat the Steelers 19-17. I said the Bengals, I predicted the Bengals were going to beat the Steelers 42-32. No, wait. Yeah, I said the Bengals were going to beat the Steelers 42-32. So I was way off. I thought that's what I was saying earlier in this video. I'm over here thinking Joe Burrow is going to put that many points up on the Pittsburgh Steelers defense. And I am a huge Mike Tomlin fan, and I know Mike Tomlin coaches defense very well. I know Mike Tomlin he coaches one of the best defenses in the NFL. But I still, even though my opinion on Joe Burrow and the Bengals, I still said that they was going to put up that many points against Pittsburgh. And this so-called elite offense, they couldn't even break 20 points. They won by 2 points. But nobody wants to play them in the playoffs. They beat down a struggling, I'm repeating myself, they beat down a struggling Pittsburgh Steelers team. Pretty much offense. Not because the defense stepped up. They beat, so if Russell Wilson and that offense was rolling on all cylinders like they were earlier this year, the Bengals would have lost. Obviously. They didn't even lose. They didn't even win by a field goal. They won by a safety. There was no safety in the game. I don't want to confuse anybody. I'm just going by points here. They only won by 2 points. Come on, man. Bengals is weak. And I think the Bengals are going to stay weak. And especially if they keep that coach that they have. All this firing going on in the league, and he's still keeping his job. I don't know how in the hell that's happening. The Bengals would not be in this situation right now if, one, Joe Burrow would actually play well against good teams and will be more consistent, because Joe Burrow is a very inconsistent quarterback. He doesn't look like an inconsistent quarterback, but he is an inconsistent quarterback. Because Joe Burrow will play good against the teams that he's supposed to, but the good defenses that he plays against, or whatever, he's nowhere to be found. Or a good team, he's nowhere to be found. So, the Bengals, they deserve to get booted out. I strategically was predicting for them to even make it to playoffs, and they couldn't even do that. So it's whatever. So the full Week 18 Sunday scores. So the Carolina Panthers, they beat the Falcons. That surprised me. Well, no, that didn't surprise me. I don't know what I'm talking about. I was just wrong on that. But it didn't surprise me how many points they put up, and it didn't surprise me that they beat the Falcons. The Carolina Panthers beat the Falcons. They went overtime. They beat them 44-38. That did not surprise me at all. When I saw that, I was like, okay, Bryce Young, I see you. I already knew you were a good quarterback. I've been saying this all along. I've been saying it in all my videos. I've been saying, like, not all of them, but in some of my videos, I've been saying, like, even when he got benched, I was kind of disturbed by that. I'm like, it was like, I think with Jerod Mayo, I'm saying he's a good quarterback, man. He's young. He's going to make mistakes. He's going to struggle. How, like, you starting him, be patient with him now. If you can't be patient with this quarterback, don't effing start him. What the hell? Like, that's what I can't stand about these teams. Like, you are starting these players. You are hiring these coaches when you know, or you should know, there is going to be some growing pains. They are learning. You are hiring these guys while they are learning on the job. And then all of a sudden you want to get mad and fire them? You're pathetic for doing that. No, like, so if I'm the head coach, I'm not going to bench him. I'm not going to bench him. I'm not going to be sitting here worried about my job. If I started him, he's going to stay as a starter. I'm not going to start him, bench him, start him, bench him, start him, bench him. I'm not going to play those games here. It's not going to be in or out. I'm not going to have my foot halfway into the water. If I not that confident in Bryce Young, if I feel like I'm going to bench him within the first 1 to 4 year span of him being my quarterback, of being my starter, I'm not going to play him. I'm like, okay, we're not going to play you until I feel like you're ready. And so we're going to play Andy Dalton. You learned under him, and we'll go from there. You know? And if I still wasn't worried, because Andy Dalton, he's not like some type of quarterback, some veteran quarterback I want to keep on my team. If I feel like I wasn't ready, I will figure out how to bring a proven vet into our team, on our team, on the Panthers team. So Bryce Young can learn under him. If I felt like Bryce Young was still not prepared, that fell on the coaching. So don't bench him because you felt like he wasn't doing what he was supposed to do. He's a young quarterback. He's learning. So it's whatever. But I said the Falcons were going to win this game. I'm surprised I even said that because Michael Penix is playing. That's why I forgot. Yeah, that's why I said that. If Kirk Cousins was playing, I would have predicted the Panthers to win this game. But I thought Michael Penix probably could have pulled away with this. But I did say in my video, my predictions video, week 18, I did say that Michael Penix is a good quarterback. Bryce Young is a good quarterback. This is going to be a very close game, competitive game, because they're pretty good, both good quarterbacks. And I think the Falcons are in good hands now. Now that they got rid of Kirk Cousins for him not to be the starter, they're going to keep him. They said they're going to keep him. Okay, good for them. But don't start him. Don't start him. Don't play. So keep Michael Penix. I think Michael Penix is going to be a phenomenal quarterback. He is going to face some growing pains. He is going to make mistakes. He is going to struggle. He may have a year where he's playing terrible, but the Falcons better stick with him. Like, don't play around. Don't do that. Don't compare your quarterbacks to what other quarterbacks are doing in the NFL. It was a scout's job, the general manager's job, and the coach's job. You know, the scout's job to bring in the talent, scout the talent, and it's a coach's job for you to coach him up and for you to be patient. You started him, you better be patient with him. I think like a lot of these coaches are terrible coaches because they're not patient with their players. And I understand because this is a business. They're not patient with their players because the organization isn't patient with them. They know they can lose their job tomorrow as well. So I get it. It's really a toxic culture. But I don't like it for the players. I really don't. And I don't like it for the coaches. But I don't like it's like a whole hierarchy. I don't like how the players are being treated by the coaches, but at the same time I don't like how the coaches are being treated by the organization. So, you know, it's all a mess. But and that's not for every NFL team. That's just for most of these teams, you know. Some of these teams, you know, like the Panthers, they're a toxic organization, the Jets, you know, stuff like that. But, you know, let's keep it pushing. Oh yeah, so I said I don't know if I said it, but I said the Falcons was going to beat the Panthers 24-17. So, you know, I figured the game was going to be really close. All right, the Commanders. So the Commanders, they beat the Cowboys 23-19. I said the Commanders was going to win this game 32-22. So I gave the Commanders a little bit too many points. You know, the Cowboys played a little bit better defense than I thought they were. But the Panthers, I thought the Commanders was going to win by 10 points. They won by what? They won by 4 points or something like that. So hey. But yeah, I was right about that. I was right about the team. So far I was only wrong about the team that was winning. I was only wrong about the Falcons. So the Chicago Bears. I was wrong about this game. Surprisingly, this game, you know, I was, you know, to be honest with you, I was surprised that the Bears won this game, but I shouldn't have been surprised because I know what Caleb Williams is about. Caleb Williams, he had a game-winning drive. He played well, and they beat the Packers. And Caleb Williams, I cannot wait to see my boy play next year. He's going to be phenomenal. And the Bears better do him right by picking the best available head coach. They better do that. They They better pick the best available head coach. I know I mentioned Ben Johnson, but I'm not sure. I don't know if Ben Johnson's going to be a good head coach. He's a great offensive coordinator, but I don't know if he's going to be a good head coach. I don't know. It'll be something good to test out and to look into. But it's the same thing with all these other head coaches, first year head coaches. If Ben Johnson does struggle coaching, don't just fire the man the first year. Don't do that. So I am really looking forward to the Bears next year of what they're going to do and what they can prove and what my boy Caleb Williams can prove. I think my boy Caleb Williams proved a lot. And he ended the season on an excellent note. He ended the season with a win. And that's something Caleb Williams could build on in the offseason. That's something that the whole Chicago Bears can do in the offseason. So good for my boy Caleb Williams. Fight on, Chicago Bears. I'm rooting for you. I'm rooting for you, Caleb Williams. I'm rooting for the Bears because Caleb Williams is on the Bears. So I said the Packers was going to win this game. I couldn't even remember what the score was. I can't even remember, but I did say they was going to win this game. So the Jacksonville Jaguars, Indianapolis Colts, they went overtime. The Jaguars, they beat the Colts 23-26. That was surprising. I said the Colts were going to win this game. I was wrong about this game, 12-10. So I was wrong. So I was wrong all over. Buffalo Bills, Patriots. Let's see. I said the Bills were going to win this game 27-20. And the Patriots, hold on, let me see this. Oh, yeah, okay. And the Patriots won 23. Oh, excuse me. I was wrong. No. The Colts, they beat the Jaguars 26-23. So I was right about the Colts, but I was just wrong on the score. I said the Colts was going to win this game 12-10. They won 26-23. The Bills lost to the Patriots 23-16. I said the Bills were going to win this game 27-20. The Bills was resting most of their starters, but I still felt like they probably could have pulled away with a win. So, and I think it's very toxic for the Patriots to fire Jerod Mayo off this win he got, even though the Bills played their backups. It's terrible. So that was obvious that they were already going to fire him. They was going to wait till the end of the year to fire him. They already knew they probably already knew they was going to fire him like 3 weeks ago or a month ago. They probably already knew that. The Giants lost to the Eagles 20-13. I said the Eagles were going to win this game 14-12. So I wasn't too far off. I wasn't too far off. I was 1 point off by the Giants. I was 6 points off by the Eagles. So the Saints, they lost to the Buccaneers 27-19. I said the Buccaneers were going to win this game 30-20. So, wow. I was super close on this game. The Bucs, they beat them 27-19. I said they was going to win 30-20. I was super close, man. Super close. The Texans, they beat the Tennessee Titans 23-14. I said the Texans was going to win this game 20-17. It's pretty close on that one. I just can't hit them right on. I just can't hit the nail on the head though. I'm just too close. Man, okay. The Cardinals, they beat the 49ers. God damn. I'm surprised they put that many points up. They beat the 49ers 47-24. I said the 49ers were going to win this game 27-17. I thought the 49ers was going to play good defense against this team, and they did not. The 49ers got a lot to work with, man. I don't know about Kyle Shanahan, man. I know some people don't think he should get fired, but I don't know about him, man. I think we've seen what we're going to see with Kyle Shanahan for the rest of his coaching career. And what I mean by that is his ceiling is losing the Super Bowl. And I think twice. And I think we're not going to see any more from that. I don't think he's going to advance to the next level from there. That's just my opinion. So what I'm basically saying is I don't think Kyle Shanahan will ever win a Super Bowl his coaching career. That's what I think. So I don't know if the 49ers should get rid of him or they should move on, but Kyle Shanahan has a lot of soul searching to do. He's going to have to look in the mirror and he's going to have to figure it out because first off, what he did in the offseason of firing his defensive coordinator was stupid. And he's going to have to take some blame and some ownership on how terrible this team was this year, played this year. I don't care how many injuries they had. If your team is in the NFL is based on your team facing injuries or not, you're not a good team anyway. I said this before. I think I've. Well, did I? No, I wrote about this because I just started my YouTube channel like this season, but I wrote about this on All Day's Medium page, and I said that the 49ers are a good team, but they're not a deep team. So at the same time, on the contrary, they're not a good team. They are one of those teams that if they face some injuries, they're going to start playing bad. And the 49ers faced a lot of injuries this year, and they were terrible this year. That's not good. That's not good at all. You know, so that falls on the organization, that falls on the scouts, that falls on the coaching, because everybody's going to get hurt, like get dinged up or something, and every team is going to have some type of major injuries on their team. It just happens. And if you can't figure it out because you have all these injuries, that's not an excuse. Look at the Lions, man. Look at the Lions. And I said this about the Lions. I said this. I know I said this in one of my videos. I can't remember which video it was, but I know I said this earlier this year. I said the Lions, they probably get hurt a lot. They probably have a lot of injuries, but they are a deep team, and they're a deep team because they are very well coached as well. The Lions has great coaching. That's why the Lions are able to have players who get hurt, get on IR, they get some huge blows, and then they get a player, plug them in, get a player off the street, they plug them right in, and they play like they haven't missed a beat. That's because of great coaching. That's why I always keep saying coaching in football matters significantly. Now, it looks like I'm contradicting myself because I said the Lions was going to lose their first round of the playoffs. I said that, and I'm riding with that because I don't like going back and forth with my word. I'm just going to stick with it. I don't even know if I'm right about that because of how well coached they are. So I'm thinking about it. I'm like, well, they're damn well coached. Do you really think they're going to lose their first round no matter who they play against? So Dan Campbell is doing a hell of a job. He's a freaking great coach. He looks like he was born to do this. He was a great player too. Dan Campbell is your ultimate football guy. That's all I got to say about that. Kansas City Chiefs. I was surprised about this game. I was wrong about this game. This was the most wrong game I was. I was wrong about it. Take blame. I take ownership. So whatever. Like I told y'all, man. On this platform, I do not mind being wrong. I like to learn. I like to get better. So in order for you to learn and get better, in order for me to, I know a lot about football, man. I've been dealing with football my whole life, but I don't know everything about football. And I don't know much about football as much as I want to. I want to be an excellent coach. I want to be an excellent scout. One day, an excellent general manager. So I want to know much about football as much as I possibly can. And on top of that, I want to know as much about X and O's as much as I can. I want to be a mastermind, defensive mastermind, offensive mastermind. You know, everything that I do outside of football, I bring it back to football. I learned so much stuff. I studied physics, calculus. I studied so many different things, and I put it into the things that I'm highly interested in, which is football or acting or whatever. I just do that, man. I like to learn, I like to advance. But what I'm saying is that I don't mind being wrong because I love to learn. You learn by being wrong. So, and you look at that. Don't be wrong too many times on the same thing. You learn from that. So look, man, I was wrong about the Chiefs. So the Chiefs, they got blown out by the Broncos 0-38. I said the Chiefs were going to win this game 22-20. So even with that, I thought that the Chiefs wasn't going to just walk all over the Broncos. So I knew it wasn't going to be a walk in the park. So I only had them winning by 2 points. But 38-0 is that's way off. Like, dang, I didn't even think that. And this game was so lopsided. Like I said, this has people thinking that the Chiefs, they lost on purpose. That's what people are thinking right now. I'm surprised. I don't like conspiracy theories or trying to come up with scenarios that you can't really prove. I'm more of a fat guy, but with Andy Reid coaching that team, it's hard for me to believe that a coached Andy Reid team, I don't care who he had out there, it's hard for me to think that they didn't just fall over. They didn't just step to the side and let the Broncos walk all over them. Because Andy Reid is a hell of a coach. He's a great coach. It's hard for me to think that the Chiefs got, that Andy Reid was coaching his best game and the Broncos get blown out and the Chiefs get blown out like that. It's hard for me to accept that, So I think I just have to weigh out my options. I mean, maybe the Chiefs did step aside and let the Broncos walk all over him. Maybe they did. All right, maybe they did. All right, let's move on. All right, so the Seattle Seahawks, they beat the Rams 30-25. I was going back and forth on this game, and I went on and said the Rams were going to win this game 20-19, and they didn't. So the Seahawks, they won 30-25. So the Chargers, they beat the Las Vegas Raiders 34-20. Big win for the Chargers. Big win statement. Won by 14 points. I said the Chargers were going to win this game 29-17. I wasn't too far off on this game. I wasn't too far off at all. I was like 5 points off by the Chargers points. I said they was going to put up 29. They got put up 34. I said the Raiders was only going to put up 17. They put up 20. So the Raiders, they put up 3 more points than what I thought. And the Chargers, they put up 5 more points than what I thought. So I wasn't too far off. The Dolphins, they lost to the Jets 32-20. I said the Jets were going to win this game 17-10. So I was a little bit off. I was way off on this game. But I was still right about the team winning. All right. The Vikings, they got blown out. This was another game that I was surprised about. We already went up and talked about this game earlier this video. They got blown out by the Lions, 31-9. I said the Vikings were going to win this game 35-33. So I was technically right about how many points. Well, almost right about how many points the Lions are going to put up. So I said they was going to put up 33. They put up 31. And I did say they was going to put up 30. But I was like, I'll give them a few more points. And I gave them 33. So the Vikings didn't show up. They didn't show up. If they would have showed up like they were supposed to, they would have more than likely won this game. But they did it. If their offense would have played like how I thought their offense was going to play, they wouldn't have won this game. That's why I said 35. But I was wrong. I was wrong about this game. So it was the two teams I was really wrong on, significantly was the Chiefs and the Lions game. They both got blown out. The Vikings got blown out. The Chiefs got blown out. And the scores were so off. But it's all right. It's whatever, man. This is all fun and games. So we here to build, learn, get better on this platform, and I'm going to keep working and pushing to put out high quality football content for y'all. I'm even going to start doing some research on some developing football stories all across the football world from high school on up, and I'm going to make videos about it, talk about it. This channel is all football, man. It's the ultimate. It's mostly going to be about NFL because NFL is the ultimate elite of the elite. But my vision for this channel is compelling football context. That's what my vision of this channel is going to be about, man. And I'm going to come up with some creative stuff on what I can do for football, that deals with football. Probably do some live footage on some games or whatever. I'm going to just start thinking about some stuff, some stories, maybe even like a little mini series, whatever, man. Like if it deals with football, I'm going to think of creative ways to push it on this platform, to really advance the content, on this channel. High quality content is what I'm really focused on all my channels. So yeah, I hope y'all enjoyed the video. We almost clocking in almost about an hour, so the video is going about 49 minutes. And I thank y'all so much for your support, for your love. I see some of my subscribers. I see some people starting to subscribe. I see this channel is starting to grow, and I haven't even scratched the surface of what I want to make this channel become. I haven't even scratched the surface. I'm running a few other YouTube channels, so my time is limited. So I'm exercising, I'm leveraging my time on how to do this. I'm still starting out, I'm still learning. But one thing I do know is that the things that I'm interested in and passionate about. So we're just gonna leave it there. It's Wild Card Weekend, man, and I'm excited. This is Christmas for me. I love Wild Card football. I love playoff football. So look, man. Like, comment, share, subscribe. We are going to be back soon. We're gonna keep hustling. We're gonna keep pushing. We're gonna floor the car. We're gonna keep the foot on the gas pedal. We are gonna keep finding our rhythm and keep the momentum going. You all take care. I'll be back so soon. All day. Peace.